Chosen one, stop for a moment. Stop scrolling. Stop distracting yourself. You are not here by accident. Every step of your life has led you to this moment. God has orchestrated everything to bring you before this extraordinary revelation. From today, you will never be the same. The struggle, the uncertainty, and the burden of worry are about to be replaced by a new reality, a flow of abundance and wealth that will never end. Don't ignore this sign, because what you are about to discover could be the beginning of your definitive transformation. Today, I will not talk to you about hard work, sacrifices, or compromises. I will talk to you about your mission, your destiny. You are here for something greater than a job, a salary, or a title. You've been chosen to follow a different path, one that only God has traced for you. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to discover will change your perception of yourself and your life forever. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos on spiritual growth. You will find content that inspires, challenges, and transforms the way you see life. And now let's begin. Most people live chasing something, a job, a salary, a position, a security that always seems to slip away. They rush to find a place in the world, like pieces of a puzzle that never fit together perfectly. But you, chosen one, were not born for this endless race. God did not create you to chase, but to be a point of reference, to stand out, to follow a path that goes beyond what the world considers important. When God says, don't look for work, it doesn't mean you should stay still or inactive. Instead, it means you should stop chasing after what isn't yours, what is far from your divine purpose. Many confuse work with their value. They believe that their role in society defines who they are. But God tells you, you are not your job, you are your purpose. And what is that purpose? It is unique, just as the path God has mapped out for you is unique. It is a plan that existed before you were born, written in the heavens, perfectly aligned with your talents, your passions, and your spirit. Discovering that purpose means abandoning the seeking mentality and adopting the finding mentality. When you are looking for something, you are constantly moving, driven by the fear of not having enough or not being enough. But when you discover, you stop, listen, and let yourself be guided. Looking for a job means adapting to a system that often does not take into account who you really are. Finding your purpose, on the other hand, means aligning yourself with what God has planned for you. A role that is not found in an ad, but that is revealed within you. He has endowed you with unique gifts, a vision, and a strength that are no accident. If you focus on finding a job, you may end up living a life built on what others expect of you. But when you stop to discover the divine plan, you begin to see the truth. You are not here to fit in, but to create, to lead, to make an impact. The masses seek stability, security, a job that guarantees a salary. But often that stability is a trap, an illusion that blocks the greatest dreams. God did not create you to live in fear of tomorrow. You were not born to survive, but to thrive. Following the masses means accepting a limited life made up of rules created by men. Standing out means listening to the voice of God that says to you, your value is not defined by the title on your business card or the amount in your bank account. It is defined by your ability to follow the plan I've laid out for you. In this regard, God will never leave you without guidance. The signs to discover your purpose are already there in your life, but you have to learn to recognize them. What makes you feel alive? What fills you with excitement? These are not just pastimes, but indications of what you were created to do. What are the things that you do with ease, that seem natural to you? Your gifts are divine tools to fulfill your purpose. Furthermore, God will never ask you to force a path. When you are in your purpose, the right doors will open effortlessly. Discovering your purpose doesn't mean having all the answers right away. It means trusting the process and letting God guide you step by step. Every insight, every encounter, and every opportunity will be pieces of a bigger picture. The world teaches you that you have to fight for everything. It tells you that success comes only with sacrifice, with stress, with adapting to rules you never chose. But heaven tells you something different. I am your shepherd. You will not lack anything when you walk in your divine path. You do not have to force things. Wealth, abundance, and success are not the result of your struggle, but of your obedience to the divine plan. Do not chase after what is not yours. Let God bring you what you need at the right time. Every person is born with a purpose, but only the chosen ones have the spiritual sensitivity to feel it and the strength to follow it. God did not create you to live an ordinary life or to chase earthly goals like money. Money is limited, temporary, bound to time and human effort. But divine abundance is much more. It is a constant flow of resources, peace, energy, and blessings that never run out. Imagine a well of water. Money is like a bucket that, once emptied, leaves you anxious to refill it. God's abundance, on the other hand, is an inexhaustible source that continues to flow no matter how much you take from it. It is not limited to money but touches every area of your life: relationships, health, opportunities, and personal fulfillment. God does not want you to be a prisoner of the fear of not having enough. Your purpose is not to survive by accumulating money, but to live fully, knowing that everything you need will be given to you at the right time. Discovering your calling means stopping and listening to that inner voice, that divine connection that guides you toward your mission. God speaks to you through your talents, your passions, and your deepest desires. It is never a confusing or complex voice. It is clear, direct, and constant. But to listen to it, you must silence the noise of the world and dedicate yourself to your spiritual growth. Here are some practical questions you can ask yourself to begin discovering your purpose. What are the things that excite you and make you feel alive? They are not accidents. They are an indication of God's path for you. If you love helping others, creating, teaching, or building, these are paths to follow. What talents have you been given? God does not give gifts randomly. If you have specific abilities such as creativity, inspiration, or solution finding, they are divine tools to fulfill your purpose. What are the moments in your life when you felt a deep connection with what you were doing? Those moments are not accidents, but signs of God's revealing plan. God has given you something no one else has: a unique set of experiences, skills, passions, and visions. This gift is not just for you, but to help others and contribute to God's greater plan for the world. You don't have to strive to be like others or do what they do. You were chosen for a different path, a path that reflects your uniqueness. For example, if you are a comforter, you may be called to spread healing or hope. If you have a creative talent, God may use you to inspire and bring beauty to people's lives. If you are a visionary, you may be called to lead and build something that changes the lives of others. Your gift is not always obvious at first, but it becomes clear as you get closer to your purpose. You don't have to search obsessively. You have to allow God to reveal it to you. And that happens through prayer, reflection, and obedience. One of the biggest mistakes chosen ones can make is trying to fit in with the world. The world will tell you that you have to compete, struggle, and sacrifice to be accepted. But God tells you something different. You were not created to conform. You were created to stand out. When you stop trying to fit in, you free yourself from the burden of other people's expectations. You begin to walk in your truth, following the path God has laid out for you. You no longer have to worry about how to make ends meet or what people think. God is your provider, and when you trust Him, everything you need will be given to you. Remember, it is not your job to struggle to find your place in the world. It is your job to let God show you your purpose. And when you discover it, everything changes. You no longer live in fear or uncertainty, but in confidence and abundance. But how do you actually find your divine plan? Here are 4 precious steps you can follow. 1. Listen with intention to align yourself with God's plan. The first step is to stop and listen. This isn't distracted listening, but intentional time each day for reflection and prayer. In these moments, ask God sincerely, what is your purpose for me? Where do you want me to go? Don't expect instant answers or spectacular visions. God often speaks through feelings, intuitions, or small signs. To truly listen, you need to free yourself from the noise of the world. Turn off your phone, disconnect from social media, and create a quiet space where you can connect with Him without distractions. Write down your feelings, thoughts, or inspirations in a journal. Often the answers come gradually and in subtle ways. Consistency is key. Making listening a daily practice allows you to recognize God's voice more clearly in the midst of the chaos of life. It is in this silence that your path begins to emerge. 2. Watch for signs. God communicates with us in many ways, through people, events, and even seemingly random situations. To see the signs of God's plan, you must sharpen your powers of observation and learn to see beyond the surface. For example, an opportunity that seems to come out of nowhere could be a door that God is opening for you. A person who enters your life at the right time could be a divine messenger. A repetitive coincidence, a message, a symbol, or a number could be a call to pay attention. Don't ignore these details. God will never leave you without guidance, but you must be willing to see what is shown to you. When something resonates in your heart, follow it. It is never accidental. You can also ask yourself, what is God showing me in this situation? What is the lesson or opportunity I need to grasp? The more you practice observing, the clearer the path He has prepared for you becomes. 3. Develop your gifts. God has gifted you with unique talents and passions that don't just happen. These gifts are tools to fulfill your divine purpose, but it's up to you to cultivate them. It's not enough to acknowledge them. You have to invest time, energy, and dedication into them. Ask yourself, what do I do easily? What brings me joy when I do it? These are clues to your natural talents. If you love to write, create something that will inspire others. If you are good at motivating people, use that ability to encourage those around you. If you have a creative mind, explore how you can use that ability to improve the world around you. Developing your gifts is not just about perfecting your skills, but also using them for a higher purpose. Don't be afraid to fail or make mistakes. God is not looking for perfection, but for your commitment to fulfilling the potential He has given you. 4. Trust the process. Walking in God's plan requires faith. You won't always have all the answers or see the entire path before you. Sometimes God will just show you the next step, letting the rest unfold gradually. This can be frustrating, but it's an invitation to let yourself be guided. Trust means accepting that even when things seem uncertain, God is working behind the scenes for your good. Don't try to control everything or anticipate every move. The beauty of God's plan is that it reveals itself at just the right time. When you encounter obstacles, remember that every challenge is part of the process. Often what we perceive as a delay or difficulty is actually an opportunity to grow, learn, and move closer to what God wants for us. Practice gratitude throughout the journey. Thank God for every step, even those you don't yet understand. Trusting the process is not passive, but requires an active attitude of faith and obedience. Eternal wealth is not earned through hard work or sacrifice, but rather received when you align yourself with God's plan. God does not ask you to chase money or struggle with your own strength, but to shift your focus from material gain to discovering your spiritual purpose. Your prosperity depends on trust in Him, not on a paycheck or a contract. When you accept the path God has laid out for you, opportunities naturally open up, and abundance enters every area of your life: relationships, inner peace, and personal fulfillment. God has already written your plan before you were born. Your talents and passions are signs to recognize it. You do not have to invent your destiny, but trust and follow the path with faith. Your life is not a race, but a guided journey where each step illuminates the next. Stop chasing what is not yours and welcome what God has prepared. A life of peace, abundance, and security in His plan. And what about you? Are you ready to embrace God's plan for your life? Share with us in the comments what trusting His path means to you and how you want to start living your purpose. Your words might inspire someone else to do the same. Your journey to abundance begins now. We sincerely hope that this video has been helpful and inspiring for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel